Hello and welcome to Training Tuesday, where we go through weekly tips and tricks to make your career just a little bit more awesome. This week we are talking about narrowing down options, which can be challenging whether you're figuring out what you want to do next in your career and you're kind of resistant to making a declaration out of fear of it not working out, or you're looking for your next opportunity and you're resistant to actually picking one route to run down full steam ahead. It can be a little scary. And the reason we're talking about this is because this week in Career Clarity Camp, it's actually the week that the members are actually going through and taking their many options on their dream jobs list, their potential opportunities of, I could go client side, I could, go stay at the same agency, I could do this, that, or the other, I could start my own shop, whatever's on their mind, and they actually pick one route going forward. And this week in any of our kind of programming tends to be the time where people get a little bit freaked out and their palms start to get a little clammy, and they generally just get nervous about narrowing down options. The reason people are so nervous about narrowing down options has to do with the actual mindset behind it, which we'll talk about in a little bit, but I want you to really understand this problem. Because often people like to think that they want to keep a wide net open because they're more likely to catch more fish that way. They think that if they, using job searching for an example, if they stay open to any of the potential opportunities, maybe it's going client side, maybe it's going this, there's more potential roles. And so of course they're more likely to get into one. Now it might seem like a simple math equation, but there's actually a lot of issues that come along with trying to keep this broad possibility philosophy. And even though it seems counterintuitive, what we really want to focus on this week is honing you in a little bit. Because when people keep that kind of, I can take anything and I'll let what shows up dictate what I'm gonna get, it tends to have a few problems. Really, first and foremost, it spreads your efforts a little bit too thin. So if you're applying to a ton of different roles and you are kind of doing a mediocre job on a lot of applications versus a really great job on a few, not so good. Two, it confuses the people who you're asking for help. So if you're asking for referrals from friends, people who know you, colleagues, whatever, if you are trying to look at many different opportunities, it can be confusing to them because the likelihood in which they will get that perfect thing for you, if you're not being specific, is not so good. I use an example often of this analogy of ordering a ham sandwich. And if your friend says, I'm gonna go to the deli, you want me to get you anything? And you say, yeah, get me a sandwich. The likelihood that they come home with the exact sandwich that you were thinking, which was a Dutch crunch roll with ham, cheese, pickles, mayo, no mustard, it's not so good. Opposed to if you say, yeah, could you grab me a sandwich? I want a Dutch crunch roll with ham, cheese, pickle, mayo, no mustard, a lot more likely to get it. I want you to apply that same mentality to a hunt because even though it can feel counterintuitive, being specific actually helps you find the right fit opposed to just anything. And when you're trying to find just anything, it also gives off the wrong vibe in interviews because people can tell when they're like, you don't really want this job, you just want a job. I say that because I have seen this in people before, and there are a few things that make me run away so quickly, right? So I really want you to think about, even though it feels counterintuitive, actually being more intentional on your efforts is gonna be a win for you because otherwise you're spent spinning your wheels trying to get out anything, and it's actually gonna slow you down and not speed you up. So what we want you to do is make a more concerted, intentional effort on the path that you're going down. Be clear on what you want, be clear on how to get there, and actually take the steps that you need to make sure that you're setting yourself up to really go all in on this. Now, while we want you to do that, the thing you need to understand that's probably behind this I want to keep all the doors open mentality is the scarcity mindset. And the scarcity mindset, which I'm not going to go too far into today because we don't have nearly enough time, but the scarcity mindset is this mentality that there's not enough and there will never be enough. It's the idea of scarcity, right? Because I'm so scared of things not working out, if I stay open to all of the opportunities, it's going to be beneficial to me. Ultimately, it's just trying to soften the blow for yourself and your ego of something not working out because it's a lot scarier for people to admit wholeheartedly that they really want something to work out and it doesn't. And so I want you to think about the actual mindset that's going behind that kind of desire to make sure that you're making yourself, have a wide range of options. Almost always it's this idea that there's never enough and there's never going to be enough. You have to take the time to unpack that mindset, which is a huge thing that we do, and we spent a couple weeks on mindset in curricularity camp in that program, and it's in every single one-on-one, all the programming that we do, because mindset is ultimately what drives actions, which ultimately drives results. So think about if that mindset's coming into play with you trying to keep all of your opportunities open, and if so, the one little shift I want you to start to make this week, and the tip that I suggest to you, is to actually start to say no to things. And I know it can feel hard, but even if you're taking one potential route off that you know is not an opportunity that you're interested in and narrowing it down a little bit, keep doing that, and that's how you get a deliberate path. Doesn't mean that you can never decide again, but it is making a focused effort, which is how you ultimately get the best results. So try that tip on for size. Try actually saying no to things, and it doesn't mean that you're not appreciative. You can say, if a friend brings you an opportunity, I so appreciate that. Actually, what I'm looking for is more like this. Do you know of anything? And spell out the specifics. Tell them with specificity what you're looking for so they can help you to find it. People want to do what's best for you, okay? So try that tip on for size. If you have questions about mindset as a whole, or realize that scarcity mindset is coming up for you, comment me below. I'd love to hear. I know I'm not the only one who's felt this way. I think everyone has felt this way at this point. So if you're coming up with some scarcity stuff, raise your hand, let us know. But try that tip on for size in the meantime, and happy working.